127's Brian Martin.
Set. Favour the inside. They're off and running, and he is one of the best away. Dignity Dancer down on the inside, looking for some lead, and on the outside of him is Mosman with Greenstone Charm from Sky Heights. Delirious back away, and about 2 or 3 lengths last of all is Lease. Dignity Dancer's in front, but Mosman's moving up on these outside. Not much between them. Mosman's going to take it up now, and Mosman will go to the front, lead a length and a half to Dignity Dancer, who's racing a little ungenerously, getting his head up, and Sky Heights has gone around the outside of him. Dignity Dancer now third. On the outside of it then came Greenstone Charm, 2 lengths further back Delirious, 1.5 Lease last of all at the 1450 metre mark, and the leader Mosman. Dyer's high in the irons, he wants to pull hard. Mosman out in front, he's 2 lengths to Sky Heights, a length further back Dignity Dancer, a half then on the outside Greenstone Charm, 2 lengths Delirious, 1 to Lease last of all at Chiquita Lodge at the 1200 metre mark, and Mosman coming back on a better rein, about a length and a half in front of Sky Heights, 1.5 Dignity Dancer tucked away on the inside of Greenstone Charm, 2 lengths further back Delirious, and Lease has gone up on the outside. Last of the 6th, they've gone to the 1000 metre mark. Mosman setting a good tempo in front, just over a length in front of Sky Heights. Dignity Dancer's getting a beautiful run on the inside of Greenstone Charm. 2 lengths further back Delirious, and a half the outside is Lease as they go to the 700 metre mark. No change. Mosman with Dye dictating his terms, nearly a length in front from Sky Heights, and Greenstone Charm is hanging badly on Childs. He's run out wide. Something's amiss with Greenstone Charm. Dignity Dancer quickly went up third from Lease, and Delirious back on the inside. Turning for the run in, 500 to go. Mosman 3/4 in front of Sky Heights, a length further back than Dignity Dancer. Lease outside in, followed by Delirious. Now the pressure's on the Dancer. He's after Mosman at the 300 metre mark. Mosman a length in front. Dignity Dancer ranging up on the outside. Then Sky Heights, and further back Lease. Mosman's a neck in front. Dignity Dancer's got on terms with him. They're going stride for stride. Dignity Dancer's got his head in front. There's a pot of gold for him at the end of the rainbow. Yes, he'll do it. He gets the Triple Crown. Dignity Dancer. 3/4 Mosman, a length away, third Lease. Then Sky Heights, a gap Delirious, and completing the course 20 lengths away, last of all, is Greenstone Charm.
Well, we've seen a wonderful horse here at Flemington today, a lovely ride. He did have a bit of a lucky break at the top of the straight, but certainly the best horse has won the race. Shane Dye was able to get out in front on Mosman and dictate his terms, but Dignity Dancer has finished off his race beautifully. He was going away in the last 50 metres. He's a great horse. He's going to be very hard to beat in the AJC Australian Derby, and for the first time, the Australian Triple Crown has gone off. A few anxious moments, I would think, for the backers, Alf Matthews, but the unfortunate part of the race was when something went amiss with Greenstone Charm at the top of the straight, Jimmy was out and gone.
That's right, Peter. He always looked as if he was going to be in trouble, whether he could get a run or not, because he's had Sky Heights outside the leader, Greenstone Charm, Charm's racing outside of him, and then for some unknown reason he shifted out because his action didn't actually falter, but he just obviously took charge of Greg Childs, shifted out and presented it to Jimmy Cassidy.
And Jimmy Cassidy is out there now. Here is the winning jockey with Johnny Letts.
Yeah, Jim, what a great thrill, eh? The Triple Crown, first time it's ever been done. $1 million stake money plus the bonus.
Yeah, look, he's a great horse, this Letts. He's only getting better, and coming to Flemington was his big chance today to prove himself, you know.
Jim, you had your main danger in front, didn't you? Was you always confident of beating him?
Look, I never thought he could turn the tables on him here, and I relaxed beautiful in the run. I dug up a bit, hold my spot early. But look, he playing out beautiful.
He just looking at him after the race there, Jimmy, I think he could go around again, couldn't he?
He ran 2 miles, this bloke, mate.
Yeah, he looks a pretty relaxed type of horse. He give you a nice ride through the run.
He did. He relaxed beautiful after we went probably 2 furlongs, and all his good races in front of him, let's see.
Yeah, I heard Brian say you had a bit of luck at the top of the straight, but Jimmy, I don't think he'd have needed the luck, would he?
Would have shoved out of it, mate.
Good luck, Jimmy, and good luck in the next one. And you've won the Triple Crown, and now you've got, what, the Derby?
The Derby in Sydney now, mate.
Beautiful. Good luck, Jim.
Thanks, Johnny.
Johnny Letts out there with Jimmy Cassidy. It could be a big day for the pumper because he'll be aboard Bazille Bay in the Australian Cup. The winning trainer is Billy Mitchell. He's done a fabulous job with this wonderful young horse. Here he is with Mark Aston.
Thank you, Pete. Bill, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
What a fantastic performance in the end. He really came away.
Yeah, it took him a while to sort of get there, but he just kept grinding away. He's a more a stayer than sort of he's run the time there today, so that was a great effort.
Jimmy was in a bit of a pocket there early.
Well, it was okay. You know, your chances are in a 6-horse field you're going to get out.
What about to 2 Mile?
I don't think it's a problem, 2 miles. I'm sure he'll run it. So, you know, we're not in any hurry to get him to 2 miles. He won't run 2 miles till next spring.
We do have a very big 2 mile race coming up in spring.
Yeah, well, that's definitely high priority.
Good on you. Congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Pete.
Thank you, Mark. Well, there you go. The Melbourne Cup is on the long-term agenda for Dignity Dancer, which will pay $1.50 and $1.20 on Super Tab, $1.70 for Gallant in defeat, Mosman. Let's not forget the run of the second horse, and third placing going to number 4, Lease, ridden by Darren Gauci. There'll be no third dividend, so the placings are 1, 2 and 4. It's always a great scene after big races here at Flemington, no matter what time of the year it is. But with the roses in bloom and a big crowd here and the sun shining, we welcome back a rising star of the Australian turf. He's been here before, Jimmy Cassidy. He's been here twice on the first Tuesday in November, back to the winner's circle. And you never know, sometime down the track, this horse might make it a third. He's only ever been to the races on 9 occasions, and 6 times he's come back to the number 1 position. $847,000 in stakes he had before today. Add to that $617,500 for the winner and $250,000 bonus. That is Keith Biggs, one of the part owners of Dignity Dancer there with Bill Mitchell. And Keith, of course, had great success with that Grand Galloper de Remus in the pink and blue hoops. Wonderful ride by Jimmy Cassidy. Shane Dye was able to dictate the terms on Mosman, but the better horses won today, and Lisa's finished officially third. Fourth was Sky Heights, and fifth home in the race was Delirious. So Greenstone Charm, the horse that went amiss, has finished in 6th position. And speaking of going amiss, as Jimmy Cassidy's about to hop on the scales, we can take a look at what happened at the top of the straight. The incident's actually just happened there, and you can see Sky Heights moving up on the outside of Mosman. And really, Shane had been able to dictate the race as he liked, Alfie.
He certainly did dictate the race, but the thing I did like, even though Jimmy was aided by a little bit of luck in running, he still was able to come out and he actually timed his run perfectly. Mosman actually here, you notice him actually kick. They pull away from the third horse, but Dignity Dancer now digs very, very deep and puts the win beyond doubt.
Yeah, I must say, around about the 100-metre point, I said to you, I think he's just had enough. But in the last 50 metres, he was going away.
No, that's exactly right, Peter.
And he's won by a length on the line from Mosman, Gallant in defeat, and Lease getting home well third.
Creditable third, Lease.
Yeah, it really was a good run. But it's great to hear that Bill Mitchell is already talking about the Melbourne Cup and the fact that he's got that in the back of his mind.
It's always got to be the ultimate, you know, when you're a trainer, it is the icon of racing.
And he looks as though he's an ideal 2-mile type horse, as Jimmy Cassidy and everyone have been so impressed by, and Bill Mitchell mentioned. So the weight signal is about to come up. There is the rider of Greenstone Charm, Greg Childs. We'll get Alf Matthews to go and have a chat to Greg and just find out exactly what did happen there at the top of the straight. The weight signal is about to come up, so we might just wait for that. I don't think we'll have too many worries.
Come in there.
In fact, we'll take a break and then we'll come back with the weight signal on the Cadbury Guineas. Congratulations to all concerned with this rising star of the Australian turf, Dignity Dancer. Fabulous Flemington on Amy Australian Cup Day 1999, and we've just seen one of the rising stars. Maybe that youngster might be reminded of that in years to come. You were there the day that Dignity Dancer won the Cadbury Guineas and won the Triple Crown, because I think Dignity Dancer's name will go on the honour roll in many other races, probably including the AJC Australian Derby in just a month's time or so. Weight is right, correct weight is there in the Cadbury Guineas, and I can tell you the time, I think it was hand-timed, 1:59. Now that is unbelievable time. The track is fast today. Johnny Letts said earlier in our track report that he expected a few records to go by the board. Whether this will be ratified as a record, I'm just not quite sure. We need to confirm whether it was electronically timed, but 1:59 is quicker than any horse has ever gone before over 2,000 metres at Flemington, and they run races like the Guineas and the LKS McKinnon Stakes here. It is a good distance for good horses, and he's gone quicker than any of them have ever done before. Let's have a look at the dividends for race 5, the Cadbury Guineas, with correct weight. On Super Tab, Dignity Dancer, $1.50 and $1.20. Second, Mosman, $1.70. And third was Lease, insufficient starters for a third tight dividend. The trifecta on 1, 2 and 4 paid $15.60. The Quinella was pretty easy to have. It's paid all right, $3.20. And the race-to-race double for the two favourites in race 4, the winner being Man of Mars and Dignity Dancer, has paid $3.20. All right, the presentations are getting set after the running of the first of our features today, and that's not bad prize money really, not a bad day at work. $617,500 to the connections of the winner for winning the Cadbury Guineas, and $250,000 bonus for becoming the first horse to win the Triple Crown. Next event here at Flemington is race number 6 on the card. It's the Pura Milk 1100, time to commence at 2:40, and the scratching is the bottom one. Number 13, Grand Cheval, and the rider for number 10, Come to Order, is Craig Williams. We're set for the presentation now after the first of our features here at Flemington on AAMI Australian Cup Day.
Yes, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. 2 days of racing here at Flemington. I tell you, we really have been spoiled, haven't we? Again, I think we've seen another emerging champion. To begin our presentation of this wonderful race, the Cadbury Guineas, Vice Chairman of the VRC, Mr. Rod Fitzroy.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Doug Lovelace, Human Resources Director of Cadbury Australia, to make the presentation to the connections of this champion horse. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the Victorian Racing Club Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We've just witnessed the running of the Cadbury Guineas, a Group 1 race of $1 million for 3-year-old colts and geldings. This was the 14th running of the Cadbury Guineas, and this year, of course, the race was the 3rd leg of the Autumn Triple Crown. And Cadbury is delighted to again be a part of this magnificent carnival of champions. The winner, Dignity Dancer. He has written himself into Australian racing history, being the first horse to win a Triple Crown series, a truly wonderful achievement. And on behalf of Cadbury, I'd like to congratulate the winning connections of Dignity Dancer, the owners, Mr. Keith Biggs, Mr. Russell and Dr. John Tickell, the trainer Bill Mitchell, and of course that jockey Jim Cassidy. And I'd now ask Mr. Keith Biggs to come forward to accept the trophy.
Congratulations. Wonderful.
Mr. Doug Lovelace, Director of Cadbury Guineas, Chairman of the VRC, fellow committeemen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my great partners from Western Australia. There's not probably much more I can say. We've had a great run with this horse, and I just want to say a couple of very quick words. Firstly, to the Mitchell boys who decided that we wouldn't sell this horse. We put him in the ready-to-run sale, and Mr. Harry and Arthur and Bill, who said this horse has got a bit of ability, never to think he'd win or do what he's done, so that was fantastic from the Mitchell boys. And Billy's and his lovely wife, Deb, thank you very much for the effort and the training performance too. My great pumper, Jimmy Cassidy, well, I think explains it without me saying any more. Thank you, pumper. To my racing manager, David Prance, who put a lot of work into his horse, and thank you, David. To my great friends in Coley and Boulder, I hope you're watching. I did say a couple of weeks ago, keep backing him and you'll get a turkey or leg of ham for Christmas. To my great Rod Russell, Dr. Tickell, all you people on Racecourse today, thank you for the support you've given us, and I look forward to seeing you in Sydney shortly. Thanks.
Well done,
And for a marvellous training feat, I'd like to congratulate the trainer, Mr. Bill Mitchell, and ask him to come and accept the trophy.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Just like to thank Cadbury's, the VRC, Jimmy, nice ride. Steve, who always looks after him, goes everywhere with this horse. He does a fantastic job with him. And all the staff at home who have to do the hard yards behind the scenes. Everything went great today and everything's going well so far. Thank you very much.
I think one of the most popular personalities on any racecourse throughout Australia has got to be Jim Cassidy, and again he's pulled off the Group 1 race today. Congratulations, Jim.
Mr. Chairman, members of the VRC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Double MI. What a wonderful sponsor. Cadbury, I should say, to win the Cadbury Guineas, the Triple Crown. Trying to get in early, see? Be hard to beat too while I'm here. I must say, what a wonderful thrill to win the Triple Crown. He's a wonderful horse. He is trained by a champion trainer, as in Bill Mitchell. His staff, Stephen, and his other boys at home. Any part of success takes a team, and thank you, Bill. You've got a great team, and the honour and pleasure is mine to be able to ride Dignity Dancer for you. To Keith Biggs, the Butch, and the Doc, as they're known, wonderful blokes to ride for. It's a pleasure to ride for you guys, and once again, thank you all very much. To the Melbourne public, the way you've received Dignity Dancer is fantastic. And last but not least, the media. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
There he was, Jimmy Cassidy, the pumper, and there is the star of the show, Dignity Dancer, with the garland of flowers and the magnificent Cadbury's rug. I think they're going to collect those rugs, Alfie Matthews. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he finished up with the Australian Derby rug, and you never know, even the Melbourne Cup rug. But for the moment, he's got the Triple Crown trophy heading his way too. That's being presented now for the first time. $250,000 worth, as we've already mentioned, and a worthy winner. Great to see it go off. It's a wonderful innovation in Australian racing, and I think it's been won by a pretty special horse today.
Oh, Peter, I think Racing Victoria has done an awesome job in promoting their racing with bonuses like this. They've also got the VOBA scheme, and they should be very proud of themselves. They've done it actually extremely well.
Yes, Dignity Dancer, the first winner of the Triple Crown, and let's hope it does continue to go off in the years to come. Of course, there's one for the 2-year-olds and one for the fillies as well. And there it is, $250,000 to Dignity Dancer's owners, courtesy of the Australian Triple Crown. Wonderful moment here at Flemington today. And we're going to have another look at the Cadbury Australian Guineas, Alfie, and take a look at it from different angles. As I said before the race, small fields in Group 1 races over 1.25 miles are always races of tactics, and this one was no exception, because out came Jimmy, and he must have been looking for something to come up on the outside of him.
Well, you can see now how Jimmy starts to lean back. He let him run for the first 100. Now you see his feet forward. The horse is actually over-racing a little bit, but Jimmy's not letting him get his head up, although momentarily he just flicks it up. Shane, now you see him go to the front. His horse is actually racing a little bit too keenly, but nevertheless, you know, in these sorts of races, there's not much else you can do. Damien Oliver has moved up running second on Sky Heights. His horse has actually relaxed perfectly, but we did make mention of the fact in the yard that he was perhaps a little too pretty, so he's obviously petered on his run a bit. Now, where Jimmy Cassidy is here, you would hate to be there, because you know every horse is going to be competitive until the 400-metre mark, so you're not going to get a run. However, aided by, and it'll come up shortly, where we see Greenstone Charm shift out for some unknown reason. Now, I spoke to Greg Childs just after the race, and he said no reason for it. The horse started hanging here, and he shifted out about 4 horses. Jimmy Cassidy has seized the opportunity and said, fair enough.
And there you can see a good illustration of that from the light ship. That's Greenstone Charm in the blue colours, running 4th at the moment, getting 4, 5 horses off the rail. And so now the pumper says, OK, boys, I'm in the clear, but he also has to bide his time, not go too soon, not be panicked.
Oh, you're exactly right, Dan. Have a look. He's come around now. He's just come out of the breeze to face the breeze, and he's moved up. Now, here you see him. Shane's working hard. Damien's working hard. Damien's the first one to go for the stick. Jimmy, pumping genuinely. He's giving one cut. Then he goes back to Hands and Hills. And he just times his run nicely, because he knew the leader has to pull out something very special to beat him, because he'd have an impression underneath him at that stage of the race.
I just like the way this horse strides to the line. He's got such a loping stride. He looks a Flemington horse. He looks an ideal type for that 2-mile race on the first Tuesday in November.
Well, that's right, Peter. And as he goes on into a preparation, see, with the 2,000 metre races, you can't train them. You can't put too many miles into their legs because they're going to jump out the gates and drop off. You have to have them feeling a little bit as if they want to run. And it was a perfect indication of getting the horse to settle.
Good horses find the line well at the end of the race. Dignity Dancer did that to Mosman in the Cadbury Guineas. That's the first of our features. Still got a lot to look forward to, though. The AAMI Australian Cup also on the program. Wherever you're watching us around Australia on Network 10, we hope you're enjoying our coverage of the big day in the Carnival of Champions.
Money! Money! It's a king. Got yourself money! Money! You got everything. Short on a dollar, set yourself to lose. 'Cause money, money is the king of the blues.
Thursday. Wonderful Monday afternoon at Australia's International Racecourse, Flemington. The first of our features is over and done with the Cadbury Guineas. We're coming up to the running of race number 6 on the card, and there is the Whitman's Lightship against a beautiful blue sky. Temperature in the mid-20s. It just couldn't be a better day here at Flemington. And maybe for the O'Sullivan family a little bit later on, it might be a wonderful day too. They have long been one of the powerful combinations in New Zealand racing, and they have a terrific 3-year-old Dansk involved in the Australian Cup, the AAMI Australian Cup. They decided to bypass the Cadbury Australian Guineas, maybe because of Dignity Dancer, or maybe because they were confident of victory in the $1.25 million Cup. As I said, they have been amongst the strong dynasties of racing in the Southern Hemisphere. This is Matamata, south of Auckland, New Zealand. It's where you'll find one of the most successful racing partnerships in Australasia. Wexford Stables is home to the O'Sullivans, Dave and his 2 sons, Paul and Lance. Dave retired from training mid-last year. After learning the ropes for nearly 20 years, Paul took up where his father left off. At last count, Paul had won the New Zealand training title 10 times.
In New Zealand here you can train in partnerships which have been hugely successful over probably 10 or 15 years since they were first introduced, probably 20 years. It works very well with a senior and a junior, or a father and son type combination, and certainly the junior partner he gets good exposure, and when the time comes for him or her to go out on their own, they're not sort of coming from a foreman situation to train, they're going from a trainer situation to continue as a trainer. And I think they get there's far more creditability when they're going out for their first few years on their own. I certainly got a bit of a leg up. I started at the top. The toughest job staying there.
It's not only Paul who constantly puts the O'Sullivan name on horse racing's honour boards. After beginning his apprenticeship under Father Dave, younger brother Lance has been New Zealand's premier jockey for more than a decade. Together, the combination has won plenty of major races at home in New Zealand and across the Tasman in Australia. But the biggest thrill came in Japan almost 10 years ago.
My biggest achievement, no doubt, was sort of riding Horlicks in the 1989 Japan Cup. But as far as thrills go, I've had hundreds of thrills out there on the racetrack.
In Australia, major success has included this country's greatest weight for age classic, Moonee Valley, 1991.
200 metres left to go. Citizen hit the front. Here comes Superimposed down the outside with a rattling run. And Surfers Paradise is deeper on the track. Surfers Paradise is swamping them. The New Zealander, Surfers Paradise roaring clear. Surfers Paradise has won.
Unfortunately, with racing's highs, there have to be lows. But this cruel blow on Cox Plate Day 1997 came close to ending the O'Sullivan partnership.
And there's one through the running rail. Well, one went through the running rail there as they come up towards the home turn. City Lassie's gone through the running rail.
Lance's severely shattered leg underwent surgery 3 times and came close to keeping him out of the saddle permanently.
I was in terrific care. The doctors and the ambulance staff, they were fantastic. And you know, it was a matter of sort of getting through the first bit of sort of, you know, keeping the leg intact, and they did a great job of doing that. It was a relief to leave the hospital in one piece, I can tell you, but, you know, then it was sort of a long, steady build-up trying to get back into the saddle, but unfortunately after about 7 months I had to have another operation, and then another one only 4 months ago, so, you know, I've been a fair while getting back.
The O'Sullivans have a knack of bringing their talents to Australia and walking away with some of this country's greatest trophies.
Coming to the major carnivals in Australia, I think that's what everybody sort of aspires for. Here from New Zealand and as well in Australia, you sort of have your carnival trainers that seem to pick their horses up for that time, and generally you got the same guys winning the big races sort of year in, year out, and we've got to be very selective on what we bring over. It's a long way. The only thing worse than not having a run in the Cox Plate is having one that shouldn't be there, so we're pretty selective about what we bring over, and if we feel they're good enough, and we have certain criteria they've got to meet here to go across, and generally they're pretty competitive. Paul's a great supporter. I think the biggest incentive Paul gave me was it doesn't matter, whenever you get back, you know, the team's there for you to ride, and I guess sort of having that in the back of your mind, that was a big enough incentive for me to try that little bit harder. Lance has been heavily involved, you know, right from day one as a stable rider. He sort of had a layoff for 15 months due to injury, but he's back the same as what he was before. And it's not only a race day involvement. He's certainly involved track work and placing horses and changes of gear and all sorts of different things. And it just makes the trainer's job a long way easier if you've got somebody that really understands a lot about horses.
After more than a year out of the saddle, Lance was ready to resume in the new year, although the memories of that horrific fall can never be completely erased.
As he got back in the saddle, he said, well, there's one thing I did learn. He said, there's nothing else in this world I can do at this stage. So it probably gave him a little something to think about his future, and but he's back and as keen as ever.
After just 3 weeks, Lance was at Trentham, where he booted home 3 winners, including 2 Group 1s. The first was the Telegraph Handicap.
Bo Alexander, he's starting to warm up now. Buster Brookfield, Bo Alexander, and Lance O'Sullivan gets another Group 1. He's first for a while, and is he happy too?
It was the O'Sullivans' 9th Telegraph victory. Later in the day, the big one, the $250,000 New Zealand Oaks. Lance was aboard Savannah Success.
And then the gap's coming here for Savannah Success, and Hayen right against the inside, wider out, straight victory, and Dancing Days right to the outside. Savannah Success in front. Savannah Success running on Pravda, Hayen the inside, and then Pretty Wicked. 2 Group 1s on today for Lance O'Sullivan, and this great filly Savannah Success wins the Oaks.
The Oaks win was Lance's 50th Group 1 victory, making him the 3rd most successful jockey in New Zealand history with 1,748 winners. Today at Flemington may just produce another new chapter in the O'Sullivan story. And what better day than Australian Cup Day for New Zealand's dynamic duo to pounce again.
Yeah, Australia's not too far away, but it's a long way from home and you're getting beaten, I can tell you.
Up close and personal with the O'Sullivan family, one of the great combinations in racing. Candidates are heading to the stalls now for the running of race 6 here at Flemington, so let's have a look at the Super Tab dividends as they stand at the moment as they go to the gates now for the running of race 6. And you can see that Catnip is pretty good value at $6.20, Zhivago $4.30, Bradshaw is the favourite at $3.40, 16 for Marty's Magic, 44 Cybervane, $5.20 Blenheim Castle, Leading Light $30 as we go over the page.